Hey, what's up, everybody? All right. Hey, everybody, it's Bryan Clayton. I am the CEO and co founder of GreenPal. For those of you that don't know me, GreenPal is kind of like the Uber for lawn mowing. So if you need to get your grass cut, you just download our app and somebody will come out and mow it then the same day or the very next day. Been at this business for about 7 years and got it over 200,000 daily active users that are using the platform to get their grass cut. Before that, I actually had a traditional landscaping business that I grew from just myself and a push mower to over 150 employees. I got that business over $10 million a year in revenue, and in 2013, sold that company and retired after that. And so I decided to take some time off. I took about a year off, and the idea for GreenPal came to me. It was a really easy one because I was just kind of solving my own problem. I was just solving the problems that I saw in the industry, and for set out to build this mobile app business to build to make that the whole thing run easier and smoother. And so I've been at this 7 years and got over 200,000 people using the platform, and we're doing $20 million in revenue on this company. And so I've been in business for 20 years. I've kind of seen a lot of stuff in terms of building traditional businesses, tech businesses, how to hire your first employee, how to get your first 100,000 in revenue, how to get your first million in revenue, how to get to 8 figures in revenue. I've kind of done all that. I've done it all the hard way. I've done it all from scratch and kind of taught myself as I've gone along. And so I can help with anything related to traditional blue collar businesses to all the way to tech based companies. And so anybody that's that needs help with that kind of stuff, you can reach out to me through Sean on that kind of stuff. So let's get into the questions. Take a look here. First question is from Michael Forrest, and Michael says, "How do I know if I'm advertising in the right place, and whether or not if I'm getting a good return on my marketing investment?" Just to get some context in the background, I am a garage door installation service company, and I am currently advertising through Angie's List, Facebook ads, Google ads. I currently have a media ad company handling the Facebook and Google ads. Angie List provides leads. Okay, so there's a saying that says, "I'm wasting half of my ad budget. I wished I knew what half I was wasting." And so that's kind of like an old school joke about marketing that necessarily isn't true today. You don't have to run your business that way. You can close the loop on I'm spending money here and I'm getting business here. And so the way to do that is to really kind of just focus on one channel at a time. You mentioned that you're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, Angie's List, and you don't know if any of it's working. So what I would do is I would turn them all off and I would just focus on one. Whatever your ad budget is, if if you have a garage door company and you're doing, I don't know, let's say $500,000 a year in revenue, and you have a monthly budget, I mean, you really should be spending at least $1,000 a month, maybe up to $10,000 a month in advertising if you want to really keep that phone ringing. It depends on how fast you want to grow and how much business you can handle. But I would focus on just one channel at a time, so then I can really understand if that channel is working. And so when I say channel, like Angie's List is a channel, Facebook is a channel, Google Ads is a channel, and really just try to isolate it down and then layer these other channels on as you go. So let's just say of the ones you've mentioned, if you have a garage door service, Google ads, just from my experience, are probably going to be your best bet because somebody is searching for that. Like you go out into your garage in the morning and the damn door has fallen down and you need somebody to come out and fix it. You're going to type in on Google, okay, I need a garage door service repairman near me. That's probably going to be your best place to start, because you're matching a need with intent. And so you're probably going to see your best bang for your buck on Google Ads. That said, you can close the loop on how this stuff works in terms of, I know that I spent $1,000 on Google Ads this month, and I know that 87 people called me off of that. And I know of those 87, I actually did work for 23 of them. And here are the dollar amounts I spent with every one of those 23 people. So I therefore know that the $1,000 I spent in Google Ads generated me $10,000 in business. Like, that's the progression you need to get through. You need to understand the for every dollar you spend in the channel, for how much business is driving towards you. And the way you do that is by looking at it like a funnel, and really visualizing that funnel with, okay, I'm spending this amount of money, I'm getting this amount of impressions, I'm getting this amount of phone calls, I'm closing this amount of those phone calls, and I am getting this amount of revenue. And so my experience is doing this all purely digitally. So when I'm marketing GreenPow, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads and Google ads. And we know down to the penny how many people click on the ad and how many people come to our website and how many of those people sign up to become customers and how much money they spend. And so this stuff that it can't be tracked all the way through. Now, if you're a garage door sales or garage door repair company, it's probably the case that most of your business is done via the telephone. People probably just calling you. And so I don't have a whole lot of experience in telephone tracking because I don't do that now. But I know that there are ways to segment that out and assign a unique telephone number to a channel. And so if you are just advertising on Facebook and you're having them just click to call you off the Facebook ad, you need to assign that an actual phone number, so okay, this is how many calls I'm getting from this advertising campaign. And then whoever is answering the phone, whether it's you in the truck or you have an assistant or a secretary, you need to ask. You need to ask, okay, so how'd you hear about us? Or you need to know, okay, this number's coming from, or this call is coming from this unique phone number, so I know that I know that to attribute this call to them. And the more you go through this, the better you'll get at it, and you'll understand, okay, during this month I spent $1,000 on Google Ads. I got 100 phone calls and I closed 50 of those deals. You have to track this stuff. And so that's why when I started going through this with you, I mentioned, let's just isolate it down to one channel. And then we know that channel works. And then as you isolate it to one channel, you can spend more on that one channel and don't even worry about Angie's List ads. Don't even worry about Facebook ads. Just spend all your money in the one channel until you get what's called, it's saturated. You reach saturation and you start seeing a drop off and understanding, okay, well, I've raised it to $3,000 and I'm still topping out on 87 customers from that channel. And then over time, over like 6 months to a year, that you've saturated that channel, and then now it's time to start looking at another channel because you're making so much money and you want to reinvest it. And so then you start looking at Facebook ads or even Angie's List or Thumbtack or Home Advisor. There's a bunch of ways you can market your business, but start with one and nail that channel and then scale it. That would be my advice. Next question. This comes from Brianna Carroll. The question is, what is the best way to start collecting email addresses and a mailing list? How soon before grand opening should I start collecting this info? How soon before opening should I start offering pre-sale items? Okay, and let's get some business context here. I am opening a play center for kids. They offer other services such as adult fitness and yoga classes, kids classes, swim lessons, healthy cafe, parties, salon, spa. I'm assuming about a month or two before I'll start offering pre-sales for birthday parties, etc. I'd like some suggestions on if that's good timing. There's also many options to get email and mailing lists, and would like some advice on what other mentors think is the best way. I will be passing out flyers, businesses, schools, and such, plus hosting pop-up events, planning to send flyers to residents, buying mailing lists. for new moms and parents. Not sure if this is the best plan of attack. All right. Okay, so we're opening a play center for kids that offers adult fitness and yoga classes. And you want to run an email campaign to get the word out. What's the best way to start collecting email addresses? Well, assuming that this is even a good idea to start emailing people about your opening, I think it is. Except for it's not going to be the thing that determines your success. I think like an email campaign is more for like nurturing, like let's say you have this business up and going, and you have 100 customers or 1,000 customers who have tried it in a year, and you want to nurture them, and you want to let them know about new things or discounts or programs. Email is a great channel for that. Email is not a good channel to like get over the cold start and get people in the door day one. So, with that being said, one way you can go about this is to run a Facebook campaign announcing your opening of your location, and in that you can have an email collection form. So you would want to have an offer. You would say, okay, hey, grand opening of Wow Moms in your neighborhood. To get on our early email list so you can get a month free, and click here, and then you would run that Facebook campaign, and they would sign up on the campaign form, and then you can collect that email to market to them. So that's one way to do it, and ideally, like, you certainly want to target that down to your demographic of, okay, this is what my ideal prospect is going to look like. This is who I think would get benefit from this. You mentioned yoga, adult fitness, kids classes, swim lessons. Also, just it sounds like a lot. There's a lot of personas there. I would probably might try to like dial that in to one or two to try to get a demographic for who would get value out of this facility. And then like try to dream them up, understand, okay, this is who they are, this is what they look like, this is where they live, this is their demographic. And then in your Facebook campaign, you can really dial that in. You can really target that audience based on those attributes. It would probably behoove you to hire a professional to help you with this. And this also goes back to the previous question. You can use Upwork.com as a way to hire freelancers that can help you set up these campaigns, because it can take you 6 months to learn the Facebook platform and how in the dashboard how it works. It can be kind of daunting. It can be kind of what's the word I want to use? It can be scary almost, because you're looking at this big platform. I mean, I've got 4 of them pulled up right now, and there's just a lot of settings, a lot of different things, and you can waste a lot of your money. It would behoove you to hire a professional to help you with this. And on Upwork, I mean, you can hire somebody for about $50 an hour, and this is all they do every day, and it can probably even save you money in terms of getting it set up properly. So that would be one recommendation I would make. But in terms of collecting an email list of 1,000 people in the zip codes that would be good fits for this facility, I would use Facebook for that. I would tie it to an offer specifically for them. I would give them early access, and I would also try to juice up that offer as much as I could without costing myself a bunch of money. Maybe it's free yoga classes if you do yoga as what you're something that you can do that won't cost you any money to get the first 100 or 1,000 people signed up. And then and whatever that email is, I would also use Upwork to hire a really good designer to make sure that thing really looks good. Don't try to do this stuff yourself. Don't try to design it yourself. Spend $50, $100 on a good email designer to have a really good design. So when somebody opens it, like, you can immediately tell in a second if something is quality or not. You can immediately tell if something is just hacked together, or if it's really, really, really well put together. And so spend the time and have somebody design that professionally when you do this campaign. And then, you'll want to measure the results. You'll really want to understand, okay, I have installed tracking on how many people clicked on this email and how many people came to my website and how many people filled out the form on my website to get the offer that I am giving them, and really understand the conversion all the way through. Like, okay, we got 1,000 email addresses. You're only going to get like 20% open rate. They're even going to open it, and so only 200 people are going to open it, and then like maybe 10 or 20 of those will actually like click, and then of those 10 or 20, did I get 3 people? And so that's the reality. Don't think you're going to get 1,000 email addresses and just blow the doors open. Like, it's going to take a lot of traffic and a lot of email addresses to get any sort of like material traction. So that's why I mentioned, when we started this conversation, email is not necessarily the best channel to get started. It's a good nurturing channel to nurture customers you already have. For your type of business, I would do Facebook ads to help get the word out. I would not do Google ads, and then I would also experiment with maybe even try to figure out where these type of people hang out at. Instagram ads probably would be a good fit. And again, just like in the previous conversation, you'll want to measure and track the hell out of all that to know if you're getting any bang for your buck. Okay, next question. Okay, this question comes from Asia Small. How many email licenses should I purchase when setting up a company email? It's just me, so I'm going to set up Asia at thepurposeofprep.com. Should I do my first name or something else? But should I also get support at thepurposeofprep.com? Because I plan on getting a VA person early next year. Business description is the Purpose of Prep LLC helps hardworking middle school and high school students overcome challenges and excel by providing tutoring and college prep services. We help students study smarter, pass classes, increase test scores, get organized, and get into college of their dreams. Okay. So I wouldn't obsess over this. How many email licenses should I purchase? Well, to me, it sounds like you're using the wrong email provider. We use at GreenPal. We use Google. We use Google for this. You should be able to set up Gmail to tie to your domain and be able to get as many as you want. I think they give you 12 for free. So you could have Asia at thepurposeofprep.com, support at thepurposeofprep.com. You can get a VA and put them on there and just scale it up as you get more. I wouldn't be paying for these on the front end. So I'm assuming you're having to pay for these because you're having to buy these licenses. You need to tie Gmail to your hosting package and just run this through Gmail. That problem's been solved, and I wouldn't waste any money or time on buying multiple email addresses. Because you need to save every dime you can, and Gmail offers this for free. And if you don't know how to do that, you can Google set up Gmail for my website, and you can learn how to do that. And again, if you don't know how to do any of that, you can get on Upwork.com and hire somebody to help you with it. So I wouldn't waste any money on buying licenses. Gmail gives you 12 for free. Next question, and also they will be the support at thepurposeofprep.com. It will not be at gmail.com. This question comes from Eric Blandino. Should I be concerned if job applicants don't send a resume like I ask? Business description and background of question. We trap and seal out rats from homes with various techniques. We have plenty of businesses but no boots on the ground to help grow. We have plenty of business, but no boots on the ground to help grow. because of the nature of our business, our technicians might not be the most savvy with building resumes. I'm wondering if we should worry about them having a resume or just let them submit a job application. What are things I can do to determine that I'm getting the right type of applicants and I am putting the right type of person through our process? Thanks so much. Great question. So I've dealt with this. My previous company was a landscaping business. We had 150 employees. I grew from just myself and a push mower to 150 employees. So I've dealt with this. So when you're in the type of business where you have laborers, these aren't necessarily, these are blue collar workers. These aren't white collar workers. And so should they have a resume? Should they have a LinkedIn? Should they have all that stuff? In short, no. Don't worry about somebody that's going to be trapping rats to give you a polished resume. You really just need to worry about a job application, and then you need to focus your time on the interview process that you're going to go through. Like, you want to look for ways for them to demonstrate that they're a hard worker, that they're a reliable person, that they will do what they say they're going to do, that they take some kind of pride in their work. And there's ways you can suss that out through a conversation, through an interview process. I wouldn't worry about people trying to give you a resume for this type of work, because you might be losing out on really hardworking people. You know, your ideal person for your business is somebody who's working at McDonald's and is making, $10 an hour, but they can come work for you and make 15. But at least they have some sort of track record that they have held down a job for quite a number of months or years, and that you're looking for that in the conversation that you're having with them. That type of laborer is not going to have a resume, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Next question is from Christopher Joseph. Have you heard of Amway e-commerce business? If so, what are your experiences with them? If I get into multi-level marketing, how should I determine if it's right for me? Business description and background. I was reached out to be so-called millionaire through LinkedIn. I believe he is trying to recruit me for this whole Amway partnership. Okay, I mean, I don't want to be curt or short, but my opinion of anything MLM, Amway, or any of that stuff is that it's a scam. Those companies never cease to amaze me how they continue to stay in business and how they continue to, quite frankly, sucker people into them. But those businesses are set up to sell the membership for people that get sucked into them, and then getting people under you. They aren't set up to offer any value or product or service to the marketplace. And so for me, they break the fundamentals of business. They go against the grain of businesses are set up to deliver value to a customer and add more value than they extract, and to make a small profit in the process. MLM and Amway, they don't do that. They sell packages and memberships to people who are looking for a way to get rich quick, and then the whole premise is you have to get more people under you, and that's all this person is doing, is trying to get you under them. So I wouldn't waste any time with this. I would go to work on a real business. There are no shortcuts, and a lot of these MLM businesses, in fact, all of them, are selling a shortcut. Next question, Gabor Rusk. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Gabor Rusk, I think. How do I keep track of what everybody's doing in a growing team? Wow. Not long ago, our company consisted of my parents and I, plus a secretary. We now have 3 full-time and part-time employees doing packaging and admin, 3 to 5 contractors working on marketing, and many more in content production. Some work in our office, others are remote. One of the employees works as a manager. Okay. when I finally sit down to do my job, I'm worried that I've got all these guys on payroll and I'm not sure that they're getting work done. How do I make sure my employees are productive and getting the right work done, micromanaging, constantly looking over their shoulders? I can't really figure out what it is you do or what you sell, so it's hard for me to give you a really good answer. But fundamentally, you need to look for ways to align incentives for the people that work for you, and let them and set them up to where if they win, you win. And so the better you can tie pay to this. So let's say 3 to 5 contractors working on marketing and many more in content production. So if you can figure out a way to tie their pay to the business's performance. So this sounds like maybe an e-commerce business. I'm not sure, but if you can figure out, okay, the company made 10 grand this month, and everybody's going to get a slice of that. Or the company made $2,000 this week, and everybody's going to get a slice of that. And figure out a way to pay them a base rate, and that may just be $10 an hour, or $500 a week, or whatever, based on if they're a salaried employee. Which, by the way, most of the times they're not. Most of the time they are hourly, whether you like it or not. And figure out a way to tie their pay to the company's performance. That's the only way you're ever going to break the paradigm of having to micromanage and having to bean count them, is if you figure out, okay, this is how I incentivize my people to work harder so they will make more money. Until you figure that out, you're always going to be caught in this trap of having to wonder if they're getting stuff done. I mean, and let's just say you stay in this kind of dynamic where you're managing them and micromanaging them. You can do a better job of putting in systems to understand what the output looks like. Like we have these. We have in business, there's output metrics and then there's input metrics. And so the output metric is, okay, they need to get all of these things done. But the input metric is, what are the things they should be doing every day? And so if it's like somebody who's doing packaging, how many orders should they prepare in a day? Should it be 100? I mean, if they gotta prepare 100, then they're not done until they do that. Like, you need to manage that input metric and not just the output metric. So the more that you can distill down the things that your people need to be doing on a daily basis and an hourly basis, the better you can manage this stuff. If it's sales, like maybe they need to get one new customer a week. Well, how many phone calls are they going to have to make until they can get that customer? On average, if it takes 100 phone calls, well, then that's 20 phone calls a day that they need to make, which is kind of low, by the way. So you need to focus on the input metrics and let that guide you to the output metrics, and then you need to realign your pay structure to where that's lined up with the business's objectives. So everybody wins. You can't, if you're just paying somebody $12 an hour, you're always going to be in this paradigm of having to micromanage them and just look over their shoulder. You'll never break out of that. Next question, Erica Wilkinson. How do I think bigger in my business? My company does very well as it stands, but I'm trying to change my perspective a bit. I feel I'm looking from the ground up and not from the top down. I find myself working more in my business versus on my business building it. What are some techniques you have used to guide this process? We are a professional luxury cleaning company. We have incorporated hospitality and tourism management to create a unique system that allows you to experience the difference. I own a luxury cleaning company on the Gulf Coast beaches. We clean and manage multi-million-dollar homes for A-listers, and we are elite of our area. Okay, so how do I think bigger? Well, you got to look at what are the bottlenecks. Okay, most of the time it's sales. Most of the time is, okay, I did $1 million this year and I want to do 2. And so most of the time you have to figure out, you have to build the system, the sales engine at the core of your business. And so you said that you're working in your business and you're not working on your business. It's a very good point. I'm glad you know that, because you in order to get to the next level. And so let's just say, how do I think bigger? Let's just say you want to get to the next level of business. Let's say you want to get to eight figures in revenue. You're going to have to think bigger, and that boils down to systems, and it boils down to working on your business. And creating a sales system is working on your business. So you probably have, like, you're probably getting a lot of your customers through word of mouth. You might do some advertising, but I'm willing to bet you don't have like a proven sales system to understand, okay, this is how we identify these luxury clients. This is how we reach out to them. This is how we pitch them. This is how we get an in-person meeting. This is how we close that meeting. This is how we present our value proposition. You probably don't have a system that does all of that. And you probably don't have a salesperson. And if you do, they're probably just kind of willy-nilly going out there and maybe returning phone calls, but there's no outbound strategy. So you got to really take time to develop that system. And it could take you a year to do it, but you have to work on your business. And you might say, well, there's no time. Well, the reality is when you're trying to get from 1 million to 8 million, or I'm sorry, 1 million to 10 million, you're going to have to come in on a Saturday or a Sunday to work on this stuff, because Monday through Friday, you're really just trying to keep the company going. You're trying to make sure all the employees are showing up. You're trying to make sure that all the customers are happy. All the people return phone calls are returned. You have to dedicate time, whether it be 5 hours, 10 hours, or 20 hours a week, to work on your business, or else you'll never break out of this rut that you're in. And so maybe you just say, okay, Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4 or 1 to 7, I go into the office and I look at what we did that week. I look at how many people called. I look at how many how many people called for estimates. I look at how many estimates we did and how many of those deals we closed. And then I'm developing my sales system around all of that information, and really auditing that and crafting that sales system. So that's practically and fundamentally how you do it. The other thing you can do is you can hire you a rock star sales coach that can hold you accountable to do these things and work with you. I mean, they're probably going to be $500 or $1,000 a month, but hiring somebody that, like a consultant that can help you work through these things, can help you be held accountable to, okay, this is my sales system. This is how it's doing. How do I tweak this? What do you see where the gaps are here? And really going through the actual work to do this stuff is what most business owners don't do, and it's what you're going to need to do to get to the next level. One thing a point I want to make is that there's a difference between hard work and difficult work. So hard work is going out and cleaning one of these homes. Hard work is running around town and making sure everybody is happy, and maybe even running estimates to people and like working 15 hours a day. That's hard work. Difficult work is sitting down, working through the mental thought process of creating a sales system and a sales strategy to identify who these people are that are in your target market, figuring out a way to get their contact information and reach out to them. When you get the meeting to pitch your services, how do you craft your value proposition to where you're flat out better than your competitors? How do you close, and how do you retain them? Like, that's a difficult process. Hard work is like getting on your knees and scrubbing the floor. Difficult work is creating that system. Hope that helps. All right, we got the last question. Michael Rays. What is the key to finding and keeping good employees? We wash cars. It's not hard work or long work. It's quite fun and freeing, but it's hard to find people who are willing to commit to a full-time position, even with great pay. Okay, so again, that's another similar question to one we had earlier about manual laborers and how do you find and keep people. You flat out have to figure out a way for these people, first off, to hire people who want to work hard. That's hard to do. So it might take you 10 to find the one. But it sounds like you're a solo operator. Maybe you have 2 or 3 people. So you don't need like to hire 5 people next week. But you have to figure out a way for these people to work really hard and to make a lot of money. So maybe they can make 15 bucks an hour working anywhere, which is pretty much the base pay now, 12, 15 bucks an hour. So you're gonna have to at least pay them that. And so if you can't pay them that, you'll never break out of this problem. And so then you back into, well, I'm not charging enough. Okay. Well, if I charge too much, then I won't get any business. Well, maybe I need to go after a different type of customer, or maybe this business might be a dead end because I can't charge enough to get the kind of margins I need. Or it could be an efficiency thing. It's like we're charging $75 for a detail, and it's taking us half a day to do it. It could be you need to figure out a system to get through the clean quicker. So all that to be said, you have to like figure out, okay, how do I get to where I can pay them 15 bucks an hour at a base, and then if they work really hard, they can make 30 bucks an hour. And then you're tying that to the production. So let's say we do 3 details in a day, they're $100 each, that's 300 bucks. And I want to pay this person, 20 bucks an hour. They're going to eat up all of the margin. And so you have to figure out a way to get 5 details done where you're really going through them, and you're paying this person a percent of those sales, maybe 30% or 40% of the sales, however the numbers shake out, to where if they really work hard and work efficient, then they can make more money working for you than they can elsewhere. And so until you can figure that out to where pay is aligned to production, and then also where you can flat out pay them more than they can make anywhere else because they're a hard worker, because they do a thorough job, then you're never going to solve this problem. You're always going to be banging your head against the wall. The next thing too is in tandem with that, you need to figure out a training process, because you're going to be going through a lot of people to find this one person. And so it's like, okay, it's almost like Car Wash University. It's 7 days. Day 1, we talk about shampooing. Day 2, we talk about Armor All. Day 3, we talk about waxing. Day 4, and it's like you go through this curriculum where it's like you're proven Car Wash University, to where you can quickly put people through this system and not have to like reinvent it every single time. McDonald's is a worldwide organization that is built on high turnover, because they have a training system where they can train anybody in a week to do the things they need to do. So you're going to have to like work on that too. So this also goes back to the previous question, taking time to work on your business and not in your business, and the difference between hard work and difficult work. Do the difficult work, figure out how you're going to be able to pay them more if they work harder, and figure out how you can train them faster. All right, everybody, that's all the questions. Anybody that was interested in any of this stuff, thinks that maybe I can help them with something else, feel free to reach out to me through Sean. I enjoyed it. Talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you on the next live.